And so it's live, but I'm just adjusting this to stay.
So hover above show, and that's only if I wanted to show.
It's live. Hey everybody.
What's up? 7A.
What number is this, Chip?
7A.
What number is this, Chip?
7A.
All right. Don't get excited. It's because I'm sure I know. So welcome. Thank you for tuning in to the first ever live stream of the Erich Andreas Unexplained. I give to you Erich Andreas, Blake Grimmhauser, or as our dear friend Ray Casper would say, Lieutenant Commander Blake Grimmhauser, and then we have the lovely Michaela. Very odd setup here, but this is what it is. Yes, and then we have Ray Casper will be no doubt interjecting in the comments in his usual foul repose, as it were.
Unfortunately. I mean, fortunately, we love Ray Casper.
Fortunately.
I love him. Please don't hurt me.
Do you love Ray Casper?
Fuck you.
Oh, the feelings have not changed. Oh.
Exactly. Anyway, we'll discuss a few different topics in this. Obviously, all paranormal related. Start off with the Hollow Moon mystery, and my infantile knowledge on this subject is very cursory at best. But back in 2015, it was circulating through the anal reams of Reddit, and that's kind of my thoughts on Reddit for the most part.
Fair.
The British psychologist, unnamed British psychologist. This is kind of hard to find exact specifics on this. The one who posted this, rather anonymous too, I would say, that he had come across documents or was privy to documentation that there was on the Apollo 17 mission, which was the last official moon mission, they came across the remnants on the moon's surface of a doomed Soviet mission, replete with dead cosmonauts littered about, a lunar lander that had been decimated, been punctured, and been just torn to bits. The faceplates of the poor cosmonauts, comrades, were all smashed in, and it was a tragic thing. And of course, they did the smartest thing. They hightailed it back to their lander, to the U.S. lander, and asked for immediate permission to leave.
To get the hell out.
Yeah, and they couldn't get out right away because it's just not that simple. You need Houston to help you with your telemetry and all other types of fancy things. So you just couldn't lift off till they had to. But they were in a panic. Yeah, Shorty. Don't let Ray ruin the stream.
There's no stopping him.
There's no stopping him. But and so they were not able to lift off immediately, and in their hurried desperation, they were saying there were shadowy figures that were approaching the lander, and it was just scaring them to death. And that's not all I have on that specific story. And permission to take off immediately was not granted. What happened from there? Good question. Unbelievable. So supposedly in 1990, there was a secret joint Soviet / well, I guess it would still be Soviet, Russian, Soviet / British mission back. And it was reported, this was a secret mission, of course, they're all secret, everything's so secret, and that they reached the dark side. It's not even the dark side, the hidden side, let's just say, of the moon. And
Pink Floyd would disagree.
yeah, exactly. And there was another sinister attack that took place, and the feed on that went black, went dark. That crew was attacked as well, and that was the end of that. Now, not on this live stream, or perhaps on another show, we'll get into the Apollo 20. If anyone knows anything about the Apollo 20, that was it turned out to be 100% bollocks, but it's very, very interesting with the crashed ship that was supposedly found with the ancient Egyptian female astronaut, supposedly, and it all turned out to be nonsense. But yeah, Apollo 20, that's a very, very interesting one. So the ground crew was in disbelief in the 1990 mission about what was happening before it all went dark, and I'd like to do an episode on that as well. But the hollow moon theory is something that is just is the moon hollow? Is it a natural satellite, or like the Zulus said that they remember a time, an epoch where there was no moon, and it was actually brought into place or birthed by the reptilians.
That's that's a big egg.
Well, did the reptilians who live within the bowels of the hollow moon are the ones that assaulted and killed the cosmonauts and the astronauts, the Western astronauts? Did that happen? Was the moon created by the reptilians? Is it hollow? We all know the story about how it rang like a bell after the lunars departed with the seismology equipment that they used to register that. Is it hollow? Is it a metal ore that's housed in a elemental material? Then that's the reason that the symmetry and the depth of the craters are so symmetrical. What are our thoughts on any one of these?
You start, Grimmhauser.
I call bullshit.
Which part?
And I think we'll hear that
That's funny.
in the comments.
Grimmhauser
Yes.
always calls bullshit.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's plenty to call out. So, I mean, first of all, if they're reptilians on the moon, aren't they cold-blooded, which would mean that they're always dormant? No sense in this. What the hell were you thinking, people? What kind of story is that?
Yeah.
That aside, I mean, the moon might as well be made of cheese if you're going to talk about it like that.
Wallace Gromit, did you see it?
Oh, yes.
He saw it. Tell me why the moon looked so delectable in that movie.
Because stop motion? Because,
It was clay.
yeah, because anything in, like, claymation, if you will, is going to look good. Just like if you look at anything in animation, it's going to look really good. But nothing ever lives up. And now I'm telling you for real, the moon is just a moon. Not a Death Star. It's not that fun. No. And despite what Wallace and Gromit saw, not true.
Yeah. Well, this is what I'll say. I'll say that I don't know. And I'm open to multiple possibilities. I am inclined to believe that the moon is real because it's the moon and it works and it functions. However, if the moon is synthetic, is there not a chance that it was made to be that way? But why? You're saying satellite? Is that what the theory is? That it's a satellite, Eric? Is that it?
Yes, it's an artificial satellite.
And exactly why did they need one that big? And why did they need to fool us humans on Earth into believing that it was a natural occurring thing? Why must we be fooled?
Is it a reptilian monitor post? Is it, as some scientists have suggested?
You, sir, are a moon.
You're just a moon.
Suggested that it was here just to without the moon and its specific values, we wouldn't have fourth seasons. The axis would be wobbly. Eclipses, as they were.
Am I getting the vibe that you believe aliens created the Earth?
created it? What does it have to do with the moon?
Oh, we're going Prometheus
Earth-
level on this, huh?
Well, here's how. You just talked about how the Earth being what it is, the moon being what it is one of the reasons we have our seasons, right? So then if aliens created the moon, then that means they also created the Earth.
I don't follow.
Well, I mean, that's logical, I guess, if you think of it that way.
Moonhauser thinks it's logical.
Moonhauser.
Well, I don't believe that. I'm just curious about.
I didn't say you believed it. I said that was
Well,
logical.
not you. I'm just saying him.
Oh.
I mean, I could see. For the show.
And don't bring children.
Yeah.
Okay.
Continue.
So, yeah, really, the moon and Earth being created by aliens, I could get behind that. It's a lot more reasonable than reptiles living inside of it. I'm just saying. But if we follow that logic, then couldn't they have done better than making us? Could you have done better?
Why? What's wrong with us?
20 years of Marvel movies, that's what's wrong with us.
Oh, you know what? Actually, I agree 100% with that. And we're not even doing that. It's just CGI. What if the next step in evolution is like what Elon Musk says? The next step is us being our own creators, separate from our bodies, so not developing children within ourselves.
Huh.
But the next step of evolution being creating AI life,
Oh.
right?
Hmm.
That's what Elon Musk's talking about.
I mean,
And honestly, it's a little freaky, but it's intriguing. It is intriguing. I'm not like a big fan, just because I don't like what I don't know sometimes. Like, it's a little scary.
Or you're not a big fan of what specifically?
Huh?
You say you're not a big fan.
Of what I just said, yeah. What I
Like-
was just talking about.
the Elon Musk
The
stuff.
idea that the next step in
The
evolution
AI.
is human beings creating artificial intelligence to replace the need for human life.
Oh,
And that's the next step.
I didn't know if you meant that or Elon Musk.
I think you're right, but I think there's kind of a mid-step in there, possibly, where we're going to start trying to integrate ourselves with our technology directly. And then you start getting the advanced AI, because, I mean, if you think about it, AI has to be taught everything. It has to observe us. But what if it could actually read your brain patterns? Then it could learn exponentially faster. So then that becomes like, I think Elon Musk talked about it once. He was talking about like implants, right? I'm not going for that shit. That isn't happening. I'll be a grandpa when everyone else is doing their hoverboards and shit, but it has promise.
Mm-hmm.
An AI that actually knows what a human brain, how it functions, like, how it processes. Because if you can do that, then you could copy it possibly, right? Potentially. And then when you get into that next realm is putting our digitized consciousness into another body. Kind of like Altered Carbon, if y'all ever saw that. You guys see the Altered Carbon or read the book?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Essentially, this is like alien technology. People found alien technology which allows you to take a little disc and put it into a new body. That disc is your consciousness. They call bodies sleeves in that. Just crazy storytelling on that one.
Okay.
But I mean, you could also cast your consciousness. They call it needle casting, like across galaxies and whatnot to be into a new body. Just some insane stuff. But obviously you just said AI and I went way past the moon just there.
You went way high.
Yes.
Way high. No, it makes sense. I mean, all of that is intriguing, and I do think a transition period may be necessary first, like you're saying, the implants,
Yeah.
and us partially becoming computers in a way.
Could be.
And yeah, because if AI can be trained to read brain patterns, they can access information in our brain and understand more than we can of our own selves.
There we go.
Which is scary, guys. And then we'll take all the human being bodies that are not mixed with AI and we'll shoot them in a rocket into the moon, hollow moon, and we'll stuff them there.
Well, at least that sounds like a useful thing to do with it anyway.
Yeah, it's empty. Might as well put something in it.
Stanley Cobb. It's okay, Stanley. I understand.
He knows how to use a computer.
He had to get his. He had Stanley had to get his nephew.
Oh.
Oh, well, he doesn't know how to use a computer. It's all right.
Yes.
Stanley.
He was a good officer, right, in the Navy, wasn't he, Stanley? Stanley Cobb.
What,
No.
like World War II?
He wasn't? Oh, okay, never mind.
he allowed. It's great. He allowed that madman, Ray Casper, to be in charge of people. He was not a good officer for that reason.
That is telling.
Yes.
Sorry,
It is.
Stanley.
It is damning.
All right, there. Stanley Tennessee Cobb and Ray Casper. Stanley's in the comments, and Stanley and Ray Casper had a falling out years ago. They served together in the U.S. Navy, and it's
Madness.
It's madness. Anyway.
The rest is present, not history.
Yes.
Yes,
Yep.
exactly. It's a feud that continues on. Go to the Ray Casper show channel, whatever the hell it's called. Anyway.
Or dox him.
Yeah, either way.
His phone number is.
The thing about this, I out of all of the YouTube channels that covered the Hollow Moon and the cover-ups and the Apollo missions that were secret to the moon, and the knowledge of the towers and the domes and the underground bases that exist there. The channel for me personally, and I always keep carrying on about it, is the bedtime stories. I love the bedtime stories channel. White Files covered it. So many other people have covered it, and they've covered it in depth, very, very well. But I'm a huge fan of the bedtime stories one, and I was talking to Ray Casper about. I told him that you should listen to some of the bedtime stories, so you have at least a entry level idea of what's going on the show. I know he just wants to troll the show, but having some base knowledge, and I think he does, but I don't know. And he's waiting to say get off his little cue. To go ahead, Ray, please. Let's hear it.
Stop talking about that stupid bedtime story show. You're always carrying on about it. You get worse at that show. I don't know what your problem is. If you had a better show, you wouldn't have to keep talking about that show.
Right.
No, just stick to your own script and get back to the conversation and stop name dropping, you Lebanese little jerk. I just
Thank you,
I
Ray.
hate you so much. I just hate you, Andreas. You just you Mongolian monkey. I hate
Thank you, Ray. Thank you. See,
That's what happens when you stare into the abyss.
Get Ray off the show. Already someone's immediately trying
Please.
to boot Ray, and I don't blame.
Well, the thing about
please.
Ray, who's
the Ray Casper does the retro commercial voiceover, so and he's filler and
Oh, don't tell him that. He's gonna overreact.
well, you can't even have
that's the point.
you can't even have a back and forth with this man. He just he starts talking. He pretends like whatever he's saying doesn't you don't exist, basically.
Yeah,
I don't know if he thinks. I don't know
that's
if he
like
really.
being married.
Oh shit! Ouch!
So yeah. Anyway, so you're confirmed on Festering Fable on the Hollow Moon and on the
Is that even?
Chasm.
Is that even a question, my dude?
Really? Okay.
Let me tell you something. They went from again lizards in a cold dead moon to an Egyptian female astronaut, that's just even as random almost.
Well, that was proven to be a 100%.
Did they need to prove it?
Well,
Did they need to?
well, the thing about it is
That is some Stargate shit, my dude.
the thing about it is that the lunar lander interior setup that was done was so elaborately and so well done for Apollo 20. All the patches were accurate. The whole interior paneling and the I guess you would call electronics of the time was so just spot on that it was.
So was Star Wars, man. So was Star Wars.
I
Oh, that's
suppose.
cold.
I suppose. But no, it turned out.
That was more real for me.
It turned out to be a hoax, but obviously, and everyone's seen the video on that. I'd love to do unexplained show on that, but it would just be something that it would just be a forum for Grimmhauser to see how stupid and ridiculous it is.
Yes.
But you know what isn't stupid and ridiculous?
What's that?
Does Ray see this comment here? We get off the show a bit.
Yeah, we already mentioned that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But
Greg knows what's up.
he usually has
Ray, you have a comeback?
he usually always has a comeback
No little
of some
quip.
sort. He always has a comeback of some sort. But you know what isn't ridiculous?
What's that?
Is when it comes down to Grimmhauser and his gaming guide. Yes.
The only reason I even here is to enforce the moderator in the chat section, and so I just make sure that everybody follows the rules and abides by the Ray Casper doctrine. Sorry, Ray Casper. I'm Ray Casper. I'm watching every last one of you dirty bastards. I'm on to you dirty bastards. Yeah, the best of dirty bastards.
Put your teeth back in, man. Come on.
Yucky.
Dickheads.
How could I have said yucky that prematurely?
Okay.
Timing.
I'm gonna. How do you time him out? I'm gonna time him out. Sorry. Anyway, Grimmhauser's gaming guide. This is an interesting thing here,
So the Wolfenstein series,
which is unrelated to the topic, obviously.
completely, because the Wolfenstein series, while it doesn't make sense, it's a lot more entertaining than Lizards in the Moon. So, I started back on N64, so y'all know, like, I think that was Wolfenstein 3D. But every Wolfenstein is pretty similar. It's pretty much like this guy, I think they later gave him a name, BJ or something like that. And pretty much every one until, I think, the New Blood or the New Order, one of those two, Youngblood, is essentially you fighting the Nazis, and some crazy stuff happens because you got Nazi werewolves, you got Nazis in mechanical suits, you've got Mecha Hitler, which was hilarious. I had a good time with that. And then, it gets all deep and political kind of toward the newer games when they redid it in the 2000s. But, I still enjoyed them. They were still a good playthrough. There isn't much to...
the hyper-violence looks good.
I'm all about that.
But their leftist message was, I don't know if I call it leftist, but obviously everyone's anti-Nazis. That's an easy play right there.
Yeah.
But the later games,
Except for
it's just
Kanye
unbelievable. Some of the messaging that they were just.
Give me any messages as long as the game is good.
Yeah.
As long as it's fun.
All right. Yeah.
But that said, you can't really go and it's kind of fashionable to say kill the Nazis, but let's just think about that for a minute, okay? Let's just think about that for a minute. There haven't been Nazis for forever. Have there? That's what I thought.
Well, according to one of the review channels on the game, there are Nazis, and the Nazis are in the White House. It's so unbelievably disgusting.
If that was true, we'd all be wearing Hugo Boss.
But so unbelievable. One of the reviews I saw about it, and that was the state of this nation is in a perpetual downward spiral towards fascism, and only people that say that are the people that do not understand what true fascism really is. And this one channel that was reviewing the latest games and spinning the Mr. T administration as being a fascist, whilst he's doing a video bashing the fascist regime, thinking that it's just that's not how fascism works. He would be jackbooted off. He would be brown shirted away. It's 100% bullshit. There's no modern fascism happening in the United States that I can detect. But what do I know? I run a silly little YouTube spaceship show, according to Ray Casper. Yeah, but Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Truth.
Yeah. Sorry to take it off into that direction, but yeah.
Yeah, there's something about you and Ray Casper that you have in common is you tend to go on tangents. However, I can follow yours. And I can't follow his. But I can see why he's still allowed back on the show because you have that in common.
I suppose,
You
yeah.
just
And yours don't end without teeth and mumbling.
Yeah, that's the thing about it.
Again, MooTube called it out. He said it first. MooTube said it second.
No.
MooTube said, "Oh, man, oh, big
That-
teeth back."
Yeah, but he consider veneers because they stay in the teeth.
Now,
They stay
does
in-
Ray Casper actually?
They are, but so dangerous.
Does Ray actually
True.
sound like he kind of sounds like he is? Does he have like fake teeth? Did he have fake teeth when you served with him?
I don't know. I didn't look that close.
Good.
But he did.
Yeah.
He had
It's good to know.
something going on, right? Because something's happening with.
There's so many things wrong with him that
He's just getting older, right?
that would maybe I don't know if that's even a factor.
I mean, he already was.
Right.
He was already like a little old to be serving, but I think he lied.
When you know, you know.
Mm-hmm. Charming tune. Had it? We heard the chimes at midnight. There
It was
we
a
go.
call from Ray Casper.
Excellent.
They're actually
Go
best
ahead.
friends.
Sorry. Go ahead, Ray. One more time with your.
It was real.
Andreas, who the hell is this smart ass in the chat? He doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. He just come on in the chat and says, run your mouth about something you don't have any idea what you're talking
What's
about.
that even mean?
And so I just, I know you just zip it and watch the show and enjoy the Ray Casper experience, you dickhead. Get out the chat.
Ray told you. MooTube. Is it MooTube? That's what it is.
MooTube,
Yeah,
it looks like
MooTube. That's funny. All right. So yeah, that's a interesting thing.
Well, you've been told, Mutu.
Don't listen to him. He's not even gonna remember confronting you tomorrow.
Yeah.
So.
So
That's a good point.
aside from bedtime stories, obviously I'm a huge Coast to Coast fan. I've been a huge Coast to Coast fan since the 90s.
Space Ghost?
No, not Space
Coast to
Ghost.
Coast AM radio show with George Norrie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff. He turned me onto it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I'm old enough to obviously, well, most it's not even really that old. He was, I think, up until mid 2000s. But the great Art Bell and the late Art Bell, that was a tragic story. Well, the losing of Art Bell, and then I come to discover that George Norrie, who I do like, and a lot of people are funny about George Norrie, excuse me, but I like George Norrie. He has a really, really good voice. I don't think he's as intriguing as Art Bell. I don't believe George Norrie is as inquisitive as Art Bell. Doesn't push back as hard as Art Bell did, you know, because obviously Art Bell knew the majority of the calls were bullshit, and I
Did he
think
call people out?
he would question. He would intense question, but
I like
if he
that.
started calling people out necessarily, he would, who's going to want to go on the show if they're just going to be.
Well, then the whole
made to
show
look
is
like
based
fools.
on. Are they being made to look like fools, or if they're coming with just speculations without any facts to back it up, are
Mhm.
they kind of making themselves look like fools when they're coming on a serious show where these people are truly interested in this stuff? And like, there's a couple loonies that may exist in the world and like have delusions and really believe their delusions, but if you have no facts or like sources when you talk about this stuff, I think you call into a serious show, you better be ready to answer some hard-hitting questions. And of course, the host's got to be nice. You don't want to be
Yeah,
like a Ray
Exactly.
Casper, like a dickhead.
yeah.
Part of my
The thing about Ray Casper, he turns on everybody. He turns on everybody. And it wasn't until lately that he started turning on me. It was just Grimmhauser and whatever other co-hosts we would ever have on. But
facts is for nerds.
True.
Okay, sociopath. Facts are for nerds.
Yeah, but
Facts is for nerds.
perhaps
Grammar is for dummies.
perhaps
Grammar are for dummies.
this
Yes.
fellow, perhaps this fellow, if it's a man, perhaps they are having a wee drop of the Drew tonight. Perhaps,
Mm.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Or he just used to be a football player in high school and got one too many concussions.
No.
Possibly.
They
Yeah.
never really come back from that.
Because of the name Bro.
Yeah, exactly. And the bad grammar. Sorry,
Bro.
football players, but tends to be
I played rugby.
Yeah, and boxers too.
Yeah. I
Okay.
did boxing too.
I mean, you've ever heard Mike Tyson?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit him so hard. I can't really do it, but
That's called a lift gear. Anyone can have one.
that's true. But he doesn't like really help his case either way.
You're right. You're right.
My favorite guest on Coast to Coast, even now, without a doubt, the Enterprise mission, the great Richard C. Hoagland. I love
that Enterprise.
and not just because he has the coolest hair. That's not just it. But Richard C. Hoagland, and he was a science advisor to Walter Cronkite, and that's if you're of a certain age, you would remember Walter Cronkite, and
Pull the lever, Gronk.
Wrong lever.
and he even spoke at the UN, and he was the one who, from what I understand or recall, and I don't want to misrepresent Richard C. Hoagland. Did his best to prove, and in my opinion, prove that the face on Mars was actually a face on Mars and not optical illusion, not something called pareidolia. We all know what pareidolia is,
No,
right?
what's that?
Pareidolia is where you see, in abstract images, you will see things that your mind will connect with reality. In other words, you'll see Jesus in your coffee cup. You'll see the Virgin Mary in your scrambled eggs.
Just your ability to see faces on everything.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just a smudge on the lens. Please tell me you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, Rick and Morty.
Yes.
It was, by the way, just a smudge on the lens.
It was a smudge on the
And
lens.
he ruined someone's life. Anyway.
Yeah.
And Richard C.
Richard
Hoagland,
Loomis.
Richard C. Hoagland breaks down the face on Mars and talks about the lunar domes and ancient civilizations that. And he actually has a great few great shows on the moon, and it's just fantastic what this man does. So yeah, it's fantastic, and he's of a certain age, and I hope he'll be around a long time, and yeah, very very interesting.
Some say he looked like a smudge.
Yeah.
Walter Cronkite?
No, not Walter Cronkite.
Never mind.
Hold on. Who's this person? What are they referring to?
Rick and Morty, I believe.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Oh yeah, it's a reference.
Yeah.
No, it's just a reference from a show, but it was I brought it up because it's exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
That episode was based on people who see things and they like convince they're seeing like a face on Mars,
Yeah.
Jesus on their toes,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And yeah, it's just interesting.
Well,
Incident.
NASA airbrushed so many photos of Mars and as well as photos of the moon.
They face too.
Oh,
Mars, really.
So anyway,
Even planets get filters now, huh?
Ray was making some commentary about how I always look so tired because I'm up all night listening to Coast to Coast. He's probably correct about that.
That's all he said?
Well, no, he said all kinds of stuff.
Oh, okay, I was going to say. That almost sounds like a normal statement.
Yeah, so anyway. No, I think he was referring to, because I thought that Stanley Cobb was in Tennessee Cobb was in the chat earlier, but that's all right. No big deal. Is he? Oh, yeah. That's all Stanley said? Okay.
Well, he saw Ray and he just turned tail, I think.
Yeah.
He might have chatted earlier on, but because we're lower on the chat, like more people have chatted, it's buried now.
Okay.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, that's okay. All right.
You know, I still love you, Tennessee Cobb's nephew, who's actually typing. Is his name? I am in the chat now. No kidding. Hi.
Hello,
Sorry.
Josh.
Hi, Josh.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Ray Casper show.
Yeah, the Ray Casper show starring Ray Casper. He's Ray Casper. The thing about it is though with the Coast to Coast show is
Howdy.
the ones with what's the fellow's name? The guy who basically outed. He was in cahoots, but did end up outing Bob Lazar, the great Bob Lazar. George Knapp, yeah, George Knapp. I like George Knapp.
Who are all these people?
But when George Knapp gets into he's an excellent host on Coast to Coast. But the thing with George Knapp is his voice is not. It's very authoritative, but it's not very relaxing. George Norrie has a very relaxing voice, and to a degree, I thought Art Bell did too. But
I guess it depends on what time are you listening to it. A lot of people would listen to these not to go to sleep too, so it doesn't matter.
That's true. Yeah.
But no one really likes a nasally voice.
Yeah,
Let's be
that's true.
honest.
Back on the coast to coast AM tangent of yours, you stay up all night listening to kooky coast to coast. It's just for nutbags and wet jobs to call in and truckers that are shuffling around in their trousers all night. You keep believing what that crazy, screwy spaceship shows say. You need to focus on your own show and come on over to the Ray Casper show and just grow up, Andreas. And Grimmhauser, dude, what are you doing, Grimmhauser? I don't trust you for a minute. Lieutenant Andreas and Lieutenant Commander Grimmhauser and this other broad here, y'all. You gotta give Ray Casper the runs. You see, I gotta run. I got the runs now. I gotta run. Oh, I gotta go to the kid. I got a little leakage. I gotta go. Oh, I got leakage.
Did that man just said he had leakage in his pants?
No, don't repeat it. JM says, Crazy Ray, of course he's here.
Of course.
Of course. Can we ever escape the old kook?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Anyway, so thank you, Ray. Another statement.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? He's telling you to focus on your own show.
Yeah.
After he says that, he immediately tells everybody. He does shameless self-promotion and tells everyone to go to his show. But the best part of that all is he is someone with a show, and all he does is focus on your show. And he's telling you need to focus on your own show. He's a hypocrite.
You know what he does on his show? He says that I beg him to come on this show.
Yeah, right.
And I won't even respond to that. I'll just whatever,
Why does he have your phone number, personal phone number?
That's a good question.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Lieutenant Grimmhauser gave it to him, just like Lieutenant Grimmhauser got him locked up in the loony bin, and then Grimmhauser got him released because
I think
you have a twisted sense of humor.
I think that Ray's starting to get into your head.
What do you mean?
Grimmhauser's not the enemy.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you seem to be turning. Grimmhauser, we're not going to
watching
accept this treatment.
I'm watching you.
Sleep with your eyes open.
So if anyone's interested, we did
Sleep with your eyes
an
closed.
Erich Andreas episode a few episodes back, and Ray was doing his reportage, and someone knocked on his door in the middle of the show and took him away. And then we find out that he was admitted to a mental hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very curious. How did he manage to get taken away in the middle of the show when his little segment was only 3 minutes long, right in the middle of the show, almost like it was planned, ends up in this mental hospital. The doctor from the hospital calls in. Him and Ray are fighting for the phone. You can watch this on the previous episode, and he gets out, in 2 weeks or something, or a week and a half. And you're just sitting back as smug as hell. And it's been suggested Grimmhauser got him locked up. Grimmhauser went and visited him. You have tons of miles anyway on your card. So, and then Grimmhauser got him released. What for? If this is what's been suggested. What?
I thought thought I explained this.
You did,
But I'll tell you again.
But people in the live stream don't know this.
Oh.
The history of this, I don't think.
He found you because he found you, and then you accepted him and let him on the show every single time, despite my protests.
Well, but he was already sort of in contact with you because he served with you.
No, because he stalked me.
Oh, yeah, stalked with you. Okay, yeah. So it was.
And then, yes, I had him committed for obvious reasons, for the public safety.
Is it too
I wish they should have filmed the arrest. It would have been awesome. But it was more like he was admitted, not so much arrested, you know? But, you know, I mean, I would have settled for either. I could have swatted the guy. I didn't think about it at the time.
that would be, oh my God, that would have been so bad. He
See-
probably had a shootout with him.
Whoa.
You know, the thing about, yeah.
Did he plead insanity, and that's why he didn't get arrested and go to prison?
I don't think he had to plead anything. They probably just started talking to him, and then they're like,
You're right.
No,
right.
he didn't go to prison. He just went
That's
to,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
I think he went for an evaluation, and then
He
Grimmhauser.
was institutionalized.
yeah, that sounds right.
No, I know. I'm saying that's because he had to plead insanity.
That makes sense.
Right in the head.
What are you talking about? No. Grimmhauser got him admitted, and then Grimmhauser got him out during
Well,
evaluation.
let's not get hung up on the facts now.
Okay, yeah.
Let's not get hung
This
up.
is a theory.
To be fair, I do tune out a lot when Ray Casper tells his story.
That's fair.
Sorry.
That's a good idea.
Ray,
Good.
it's just that you got this voice about you. It's very like nails on a chalkboard for me.
Mm,
Tell me more about the moon being fake. Yeah,
Oh.
you know, let's talk about why it is that you believe the moon is fake. You
Why do you
kind of
believe
went into it for a bit, and that's what we started off with.
Well,
But
because
let's hear
because a
more
lot of
your personal
conspiracy theorists and a lot of people a lot smarter than me, they say so, and I want it to be true so bad. That's half of the premise of this. This show is very simple. I always explain this over and over about this show. YouTube does not know where to put this show, so it has a very odd. The algorithm can't put it because it's not necessarily a paranormal show, even though it is. It's not necessarily a comedy show, even though it kind of is, and not obviously for obvious reasons sometimes. And it's a probably more of a satire theater show than anything. And so it doesn't really have a specific category. Now, what was the question?
why is the moon fake?
Oh, so the thing about it is that
Apparently, you can't trust smart people, so we got to hear your own
because
theory.
I won't say because I want it to be fake. Of course, I want it to be fake. You know, I want the conspiracy theories when it comes to the paranormal for the majority of them to be true, and I will not misrepresent what I know to be facts and science and debunking. However, I will fuel some of the conspiracies myself by just saying that A, B, C, and D. But it's just the fact that, from what I understand, it is the largest moon in our solar system and the other detected solar systems. The fact that it did ring like a bell and it appears to be hollow, even though NASA has reasons for that, something to do with hardcore molecular density and things that I don't understand. And the fact that it does appear that there is advanced intellect of a sort that uses that moon for something, and
Werewolves.
the also the fact that the size is so perfect or so close to being perfect that you can have a solar eclipse, even though they say the moon has been moving further away, so the size is changing, and just so many things that are connected with the axis and the seasons of the planet, just to make everything so what we would look at as human perception as being relatively perfect. And
so that's kind of brings me back to, wait, what part is fake? The moon is artificial, or the moon landing is fake?
no, the moon itself is artificial. The moon landings were not fake.
Wait, hold on. You're
They
saying
landed on a fake moon.
there we go. So they landed on a fake moon.
on a big ball of cheese.
Yeah, yeah. So they
So
landed-
he's saying that he believes, of course, the moon landing is real, but that the moon itself is artificial, like
It's an
synthetic.
artificial satellite.
It's been made by who?
Well, as the Zulu said, the Zulu said reptilians were the ones that created the moon, and the Zulu tribe, amongst other tribes and other ancient civilizations, stated that there was a time where there was no moon. So the moon was brought into the specific trajectory that it remains to this day.
Okay.
And at one time it did not exist.
Why?
Well,
What was their reason?
such intelligences are unknown to me, and I think they're unknown to anyone who is a indigenous creature of the planet Earth.
So the Zulus, Zulus are lizard people.
No, no, the Zulus are they're indigenous African, South African tribe.
Oh,
I wasn't trying.
Yeah, and they are bad asses. There's no escaping that.
Okay, so they're an ancient indigenous African tribe.
Mhm.
Okay.
And their stories
So-
relate to a time where there was no moon. And a lot of other ancient civilizations said the same thing. There was no moon. The Zulu Wars against the British, yes, where the Zulus did quite well.
Did they win?
Eventually, no.
But you can make a moon, but you can't win?
It's a good point. It's a good point.
What do you mean? The Zulus?
I thought you were saying the Zulus are responsible for the artificial moon.
No, the Zulus.
Because they recorded
The
stories
Zulus
without
stated
it.
at that time. No, they stated
Okay,
that it was.
they stated there was no moon. So for some reason, I thought you were implying that they then created it. I'm getting lost.
Well, let's
Who
get it.
created it? Is it the aliens?
Let's get a.
This is what I want to know.
Well,
That's
they
what I was
said
asking in the
they
first
said
place.
the reptilians.
So the Zulus said the reptilians did it?
So, out of all the alien species, you have everyone from the Palladians to the small grays and the large grays. You have the nice ones, obviously, like the Nordics that we talk about. I've spoken about. Then we have the evil ones, which obviously would be evil because then those are the reptilians.
What I tell you, man, don't trust extraterrestrials. Don't do it.
Yes, and the smaller little typical boring gray aliens, typical, those are controlled by the large gray aliens. The Nordics are overseeing. The Nordics are the Aryans, as it were, are overseeing the Galactic Federation and making sure everything is in order and making sure that humankind progresses and is not taken over and decimated by the reptilians who are the evil ones. Just imagine. You hear these stories about these guys that own a bunch of reptiles and lizards and snakes, and the guy falls down and his flat hits his head, breaks his head open, and all the reptiles eat his face,
No, he's saying sociopath says it was actually Picard. Jean-Luc.
Jean-Luc Picard,
Yeah. The what do they call it?
Gorge, what is it called? No, not Borg.
The Borg. Yeah.
Is it the Borg? Yeah, but those weren't reptilians, were they?
No, they were Borg, cyborgs.
Uh-huh.
There were reptilians, but that was a whole other thing, I think.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm not sure. It's really, really interesting about. That's my theory on that. So, what says you? Okay. Look.
The more I learn about it, learning might be an exaggeration. But the more that I hear about it, the more that I talk about it, the less that I feel confident to even answer that question. I honestly talk about it, the less.
Sorry.
I honestly believe that we'll never know. We will truly never get to know. It's a mystery, just like many things, like the true origins of our existence. It's all speculation, technically.
Yes.
I mean, I know this is gonna make me sound like a simpleton in a way, but think about all of the tools that we use to discover the origins of time and the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
We all created those. It's just easy for me to think perhaps we don't really know absolutely anything.
That's
all
fair.
mystery.
You're not a simpleton. I think that there are people who know. Well, sorry. There are people who don't know, and there are people who pretend to know. That's it.
Yeah. Which one are you?
Pretend.
Fair enough.
I'm somewhere in the middle, I guess.
If we're being honest, yes. So Josh said that would suck if the moon was a dormant Death Star. Just going to activate when the right trigger happens. Indeed, yes.
What could that trigger possibly be? What do you think,
Mhm.
Josh W? What do you think could be a trigger in this hypothetical? Curious.
Guess using the moon's pronouns, you think?
Oh, that's too far.
Yeah, right.
Blow up immediately.
Does anyone know the moon's real name? Do you know?
Luna.
Very good.
Luna.
Most people don't know our moon is actually called Luna. We just call it the moon.
Lune, qui a eu ses lunes,
Are you just making this up?
sous Notre-Dame, Paris.
Well, that's the first time I've been serenaded.
I have no idea.
AI advancement. You know what, Josh W? You missed. We were talking about AI earlier and how potentially, like Elon Musk is saying, he's gotten some flack for it. Understandably, it's controversial. But the idea that the next step in evolution is human beings learning how to create life without the use of our bodies as incubators and that, to develop life in the first place. So like the next step of evolution, even though it seems artificial, as it's literally called artificial intelligence, but that it's actually like inevitable. Isn't that strange? Ray thinks we've evolved from donkeys. Can we read it in how his voice would be? Ray thinks we evolved from donkeys. Is that right? You'd give it
Are you talking about?
Ray thinks we evolved from donkeys.
So Tennessee Cobb is named Stanley Cobb. He's a very nice man. He really is a very, very genuinely nice, decent individual. Yeah, he's a Southern gentleman, and yeah.
We're all going to be robots, bro. Step up.
Possibly.
Probably not you. Sorry.
Yeah, so
You're not that cool, bro.
the thing about Stanley Cobb Tales is that's Stanley Tennessee Cobb is it just
Like a big
Please sing
Death
this.
Star.
Ray?
Please sing this.
Sing
line.
it for us.
What is it?
Sing it.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie.
You know that song.
Yeah.
Sing it.
So when the moon hits your eye like a big, that's the best star. When the moon hits your eye like a
Give us some feeling, bro.
Yeah.
Like
When the moon
Like
hits
that.
your eye like a
Big
Death Star in the sky.
That's
some
some
more.
more. You know, like that.
yeah, sorry.
You forgot the theme.
I didn't have time to rehearse.
You forgot
Sorry.
the theme.
Sorry.
Rehearse.
Yeah. So I don't understand what is this. I don't get this. I don't get it.
You gotta start somewhere.
So Tennessee Cobb says
I think he's saying we're all jackasses.
that Ray thinks we evolved from donkeys. Yeah, Ray Casper thinks we evolved from donkeys. So yeah, I don't know. All right, Ray.
I think that's Stanley Cobb in the chat. I think that's Stinky Carthole using a fake name, trying to infiltrate my
He's
live
using his real
stream
name.
show here. And I think, hey, Stanley, Stinky Carthole, why don't you get out of the chat? And
You okay?
and get out of the chat and go back and bathe your sister, Nelly. You stinking hillbilly, dirty drunk. Get out of here! Get out of here, Sally! Get out of here!
That's the most polite he's ever been.
I'm picturing him beating
They're not friends.
the old man off with a broom.
Yeah, they're not friends.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Thing.
But anyway. Okay, Ray. Thank you for being so rude to your ex-friend.
That's how we all
Yeah.
feel.
Anyway, yeah.
Where it is. Yeah,
Yeah. Anyway.
some serious stuff there.
So, what's the game you're playing now?
No?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, I mean, I had finished Wolfenstein. I just switched over to I don't know if y'all familiar with the Metroidvania. Just think of Mario, but it's like an anthill. You can go in different
You
directions.
said Vane.
Bow Path of the Teal Lotus. For those who love exploration, there's your game. Just big boss fights and exploration. We'll leave it at that. Just look it up. It's like Hollow Knight, that kind of stuff.
What's the theme, though?
The theme.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like Korean mythology.
Korean?
Mhm.
Oh, like we should have just guessed that. Some
Yeah.
sincerely elegant explanation. Oh, it's Korean mythology. I'm so interested now. That is
Okay.
really cool. I've never heard any Korean lore, I don't think.
Well, pretty much all that you get from it is it gives you a bunch of poetry about a teal lotus that blooms in times of great adversity or something like that. It's pretty good. You know, the games, it is more touted for its art style than its storytelling. And I gotta say, it is an enjoyable ride so far. But that's all you get, because you don't get spoilers. Play it yourself.
Okay, all right. Very good. So, give the piggy a little drink.
That's what I was
Yeah.
doing.
Mm-hmm.
Damn wino.
Mm-hmm.
What do we see? We have a new chat. Josh W says, I know some Korean mythology. Kim Jong-un and stuff.
Oh, well.
I mean, he is like that. He is their mythology, isn't he?
And stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean and stuff?
What's the stuff?
Elaborate.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about that stuff, bro. No stuff?
He's acting.
All right, well.
Yes. All right, so we're coming up on the 1 hour mark for our first ever live stream of the Erich Andreas Unexplained. I'd like to apologize for the majority of
Kim Jong-2,
mm-hmm.
the second.
I have a friend named Winston that I would like to nominate.
I'll work for him. I'll work for him.
I actually would let Winston be a dictator for me. I would probably.
Do you think he'd be good about it?
Well, we're just like buddies, so I feel like I would probably get special benefits.
Eel. Oh, Eel.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the sequel. Right. The sequel.
That's funny. What was I apologizing for? I was apologizing for something.
You're always apologizing.
You're just
for
saying we're
something.
coming up on the 1 hour
Oh,
mark.
you were coming up
Yeah.
to the 1 hour mark. So I apologize for the Ray Casper outbursts and, but he sends these messages and I have to open him up and let him.
You don't have to do
let him
anything.
come through.
You
Well,
can you guys can all send your own voice memos to Erich Andreas Unexplained at gmail.com.
But these aren't voicemails.
No, but they
this
can
Skype.
though. If you want to be on the next live stream, please send in your voice memos to Erich Andreas Unexplained, and we will listen to them ahead of time and make sure you don't say anything like Ray Casper. We might
That'd be
feature
nice.
you. It
Yeah.
has to be topic relevant,
Okay.
so stick to the unexplained.
But this is an
topics.
actual call.
I know. I'm just giving other people an option so that you don't have to give out your phone number to everybody.
Okay, all right.
Not to everyone. Ray, we learned a lesson.
Well, no.
Tennessee Cobb has it, and he's never crossed a boundary
Yeah.
and interrupted a show once.
Was that?
That makes sense.
Ray Casper has something on Eric. That's why he has to play them.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
I feel like you're being really defensive about him. I'm
Why are you
starting to
protecting
think
him?
that Josh W has a point.
Well, anyone who's watched any of these episodes are the normal episodes, and you'll see the lulls in the lulls in my conversation, and a lot of the times I'm not with it. I'm not cogent, and he's almost like he'll fill it up with at least something that'll restart the conversation, and it was really humorous for a while when he was attacking you and whatever other co-hosts we would have on. But once he started turning on me, it took a foul turn, but I still love it, So
You like the abuse, huh?
no, but what
No,
do
no, I don't know.
What do I care?
He said no, he does not know. Some of us are very sure.
Yeah, no, I don't. What do I care? Anyway,
Mm.
but no, he doesn't really have much on me. I don't think.
Why would you admit it on a public stream?
Yeah,
He's not going to confess.
The truth is out there.
yeah. Well, maybe, perhaps. Anyway, so let's wrap this up. Let's wrap it up, unless we have something else we'd like to add or something specific.
I want to say, if you just tuned in, thank you for watching the live stream. This is the first one. As always, blink twice if you're in trouble. Now you can't blink. The first live stream you ever do on the channel is always kind of a learning experience.
That's funny.
Yeah, especially managing it on the separate side on this side of things. But
well, Josh, Ray Casper lives on the other side of the country, so it's okay, and he doesn't have anything on me. But do you want to tell anyone, the viewing audience, as Ray Casper would say here on the AM, because I don't think Ray Casper understands the difference between AM radio and the interwebs. You know, I know he knows the difference, but I don't. He might think it's just an extension of the radio, is what, with a screen.
He probably thinks it's all sorcery.
But is it kind of on a live show, live stream? Isn't it kind of an extension of the radio with the screen?
Oh.
It's different than a video
Because
that's
he's always
pre-recorded
saying,
and edited.
He's always
on a
talking
live
about
stream.
here on the
That's a good
AM,
point.
and I don't know what that is. I know AM right here, but do you want to tell everyone really quick, just really quick, just a quick backstory on what exactly happened when you served together that started the animosity or the whatever happened? Just because and then I'll follow it up, and then we'll wrap this up. But you served with him. He was your superior officer or a superior officer.
Superior is really giving him credit.
He was always on you and trying to make you put you on some duty or something because he took a distaste for you. And was that before or after you discovered his ensemble? Do you want to tell people what happened really quick? You don't have to if you don't want to.
Look,
I keep pressing you down memory lane here, and
I'm just getting flashbacks here, but let's keep it short. Dude was in charge, but I found Dude with a pumpkin doing things you don't do with a pumpkin. That's it. You don't do that to a pumpkin, all right? You don't make a pie that way. That's not how it's done.
When they say shut your pie hole, that is not what they mean.
No.
Oh, I said that out
So
loud.
he Ray Casper had
Superfluous. Indeed.
he had relations with the pumpkin. However, you don't know that for a fact. You just found a pumpkin, and you were supposed to be cleaning his stateroom. What were you, something like that? And you found the pumpkin, right?
I didn't have to find it. It was there on the table.
Okay.
In plain view.
Okay.
Look, there was a whole. I don't even need to tell you. I connected the dots quickly as anybody would. I did not need a blue dog to help me. Okay, it was straightforward. All right.
Well, he knew you were coming. He left it there.
Wrong choice of words right now.
Sorry.
Beautiful.
And so you reported him, kind of, right? Well,
I suggested to other officers that maybe they should have a look at him and just make sure he's okay. When they saw what I saw, inquiries were made, and yeah, certain people were decided not to be mentally fit to lead people out to sea. We'll just leave it at that.
Or bring anything to the potluck.
Or that.
mm-hmm.
I would never have handled food he gave me anyway.
So
Avoid spaghetti squash, everybody.
So our audience here,
And pumpkin pie.
Ray Casper. Then years later, he started his own business it was like he had a recycling plant of some sort. Was it Josh saying?
Aww.
I'm so
Yeah.
glad I don't understand this concept.
Did he have small orange hands, but he had one orange finger? I'm sorry, I suppose, correct?
That's so wrong.
So Ray Casper, he started his own business after he retired from the Navy, and it was a industrial sort of he worked in recycling or something, but he has his own business, and he liked to have a scotch or two, and he talks about this on one of his shows. And yeah, he was drinking one day at work, but he said he always did that, and he wasn't paying attention, and he was reflecting on Grimmhauser and the problems Grimmhauser caused him, and he wasn't paying attention, and then he apparently got caught in one of the recycling units, and he lost a leg, and then so he's had it out for Grimmhauser ever since, and Grimmhauser went out of his way because Grimmhauser's kind of a jerk sometimes. He gifted Ray Casper a case full of 12 things of something called stump butter.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I thought I was being kind.
Stump butter.
Thought I was being
Just
kind.
to mock Ray Casper and his But yeah. So anyway, So that's the whole Ray Casper experience. And he started with Stanley Tennessee Cobb, and they had a falling out, and they tried to rekindle their friendship, and that fell through too. So you can see this all on the Ray Casper show, I suppose. But anyway, yeah. So and then Ray Casper found out Grimmhauser does the show. And...
No commercial? Brosibot says no commercial.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, no commercial.
Yeah, we didn't get
Oh.
a sponsor for this episode, unfortunately,
Yeah.
because it's live and this
Sad.
channel's very close to being monetized. So everybody keep watching. Watch all the past videos if you've already watched them. Turn them on, put them on mute while you go to work. Leave it on your computer.
Yes.
Go to work, play it on a device. Help us get the watch hours up. We're pretty close. We have enough subscribers, but we need to get to 3,000 watch hours. We're almost halfway there. So keep watching.
Yeah.
This is a very
But,
new channel, so it's understandable that we don't have those hours yet. But turn the episodes on, keep them going.
There you go.
Get those hours up, and then what you can do after we get monetized is you can super chat us and give us your money, or brands might think we're a little more attractive and sponsor more episodes, including live streams. That would be really cool. So
I would totally do a sponsor message for Pop Tarts. Let them just saying,
Oh, listen.
the s'mores Pop Tarts.
We should go get
We'll do those next week. Yeah.
Pop Tarts.
The thing about it is that now when we say we do these commercials, we do these retro commercials on the show, and Ray Casper does a voiceover, and it's usually for products that are not popular, products that some of them are like close to being even out of production, and we try to do these like retro, But anyway, yeah.
I think Pop Tarts has done all of that.
Yeah, we can do Pop Tarts. I like Pop Tarts. I'll eat them.
Who doesn't like Pop Tarts? That's the working man's pastry.
So, Michaela's saying
Working
good night
man's
for the night. Yes. All right.
I only had an hour.
So anyway, so once again, thank you so much for tuning into this live stream of Erich Andreas Unexplained. Thank you for everyone in the chat. Let's go down. We have the start off. We have obviously Ray Casper saying Shorty Blackwell watches. Is that a double entendre? Because you have pictures of watches here. So double entendre. So you're watching and you watch and you have watches. Okay, that's all right. All right.
See what else we got?
Tennessee Cop, thank you. And Michaela, Mutu. We have the Mutu. Thank you,
Is it
Mutu.
Cortez?
Cortez, thank you, Cortez.
And Josh Dubs.
Josh W.
Oh, and
thank
JM.
you. JM, thank you, JM. Crazy Ray is, of course, Crazy
Josh
Ray
Dubs is the MVP of this one.
Yeah, Josh W. is, exactly. So thank you so much. I'd like to say thank you, and Ray wants to say goodbye. All right, all right, just go ahead, Ray. Sorry.
Thank you everyone for tuning in to the first ever live stream of the Erich Andreas Ray Casper Grimmhauser Gamer Boy show. And everything will be good and okay. And all you vultures in the chat, I've been deleting a lot of your filthy rude comments directed towards the great Ray Casper. So you're not getting any snide comments. That's me. Anyway,
Awesome.
So, thank you once again. And I'd like to just say a good night to all of you. And come on over to the Ray Casper show. Sorry, Ray Casper. Hello, I'm Ray Casper. Anyway, that's all. I gotta go now. And everybody have a very good night.
Thank you, Ray.
None of you vultures that are watching appreciate any of my genius on this show. I don't think so. Anyway, you can all go suck on it. Suck on it. You all go suck on it. Anyway, that's all.
Thank you, Ray.
Suck on it. I said suck it.
What a jerk. All right. Good night, everyone.
Bye.
That's all. Peace out.